Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is a February 2026 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a 12 card spread in which each of those cards represents a house of the zodiac. Starting with your sign, Libra is the first house, first card, and then the 12th house will be represented by Virgo in this situation. And we'll actually pull an oracle card after that to put a bow on the reading. As far as the decks being used this month, for the main tarot deck, we have the Hermetic Tarot, and for the Oracle card, we'll have the Wisdom of the Oracle. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have the moon. So as far as the main lunar cycles for February, we're going to have a full moon in Leo right on the 1st of the month, and then followed by a new moon eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th of February. So that full moon is going to be in your 11th house of friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes, and the new moon will be in your 5th house of romance, creativity, children. All right, we have 12. So 12th house energy for you guys is Virgo. In general, 12th house points to spirituality, blind spots, and mental health. Astrologically speaking, as far as what we have in Virgo, pretty much the South Node is currently all that's going on in there right now. But yeah, of course, in March we'll have a full moon eclipse in Virgo, so something to watch out for there too. And we have Sagittarius. So for you guys, Sagittarius is your 3rd house of communication, short journeys, and siblings. Astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there right now, but we could see some impact to that area of life for you guys, which at the very least could be in part due to the fact that we'll have a Mercury retrograde toward the end of February on the 26th. So, of course, Mercury will be in shadow for a good part of the month before that as well. All right, so we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. First house energy, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Excuse me. So, Knight of Pentacles is actually a Virgo energy, and in this deck it's referred to as the Lord of the Wild and Fertile Land. Kind of a dramatic name. But yeah, seeing this here, to me, this says that you're going to be keeping yourselves and just focusing more on your work, on your day-to-day routines, but also I feel like there's going to be an element of imagination around that as well, given that for you guys, Virgo energy is your 12th house. So I feel like you're going to be merging those two energies together quite well. In the 2nd house, we have the King of Cups. So this is actually your natural 2nd house. This is Scorpio energy here. And we have Prince of the Chariot of Waters is how this is referred to in this deck. So to see this here, I feel like this is saying that you're going to be in sync as well when it comes to your finances, right? Like we said, given that Scorpio is your natural 2nd house, to see this energy here, it looks like it'll be a strong month for you as far as finances, possessions go. In your 3rd house, representing communication, short journeys, and siblings, we have the Magician. So we briefly talked about the 3rd house energy with the Sagittarius energy there as well. But like we said, there will be a Mercury retrograde. It will be in Pisces, which is a more imaginative energy in general. So this could just be saying that, yeah, maybe that's actually going to help you as far as creativity around your communication as well, which might tie into what I was saying here too, where you might be more focused on your work. And then through doing so, I feel like you're going to be merging that with a bit of imagination. All right. In the 4th house, we have the 7 of Cups. So more Scorpio energy here. In this deck, it's referred to as the Lord of Illusionary Success. So 4th house in general points to home, roots, family. So yeah, it could just be one of those things where I think this is saying when it comes to that area of life, you know, you might want to be a little bit more diligent and really looking things over twice. So maybe there's some potential for mistakes in that area of life, right? So it could be as simple as maybe you put in some renovations on your home, right? And then when you're done with them, you're like, this wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be, right? So maybe you have to go back and redo it, things along those lines. Maybe something you thought you cleared up with family might come back up to the surface this month. So things like that. Doesn't have to be a huge deal, but I feel like this is just saying that the perception and reality might be slightly out of balance. In the fifth house, which generally points to romance, creativity, children, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So more Virgo energy popping up here. So yeah, again, like I said, I feel like this is going back to what I was saying, that it seems like you guys are going to be a little bit more focused on work. Maybe it's going to be a bit of a passion project of yours, though. And it's referred to as the Lord of Prudence. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that, maybe nothing too flashy, whatever you're going to be working on, right? But again, like I said, I feel like it will be a nice marriage between the practical and the creative. So that's the positive there. But yeah, it looks like you'll be working toward that this month. All right, in the sixth house, we have my failure to pick up the card. All right, there we go. We have the Five of Wands. So this is Leo energy here, referred to as the Lord of Strife, and pretty dramatic artwork to go with it, right? So sixth house energy in general points to health, work, daily routines. So keeping in mind that there will be plenty of energy passing through your sixth house, which for you guys is Pisces, some of which will actually be Saturn is wrapping up its transit through Pisces. It'll move into Aries on the 13th of February, so it could just be as simple as that, right? The last degree or two of that transit through Pisces, which is your sixth house, could just feel a little bit heavy, right? Especially you even see the Saturn symbolism within the card as well. So for some of you, I feel like it could just be as simple as that, right? So maybe your vision for something, and maybe this is part of why you're going to be a little bit more focused on doing things yourself. Maybe your vision for something versus the outer vision. So let's say in the workplace, right? Everyone has this idea of how they want to do things. Your idea might be slightly different from that, right? So there could be a little bit of conflict about how to approach something along those lines. But either way, dramatic artwork aside, I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue for you guys, but it's definitely going to be something that might pop up from here and there in a month or whatever. In the seventh house, which generally points to partnerships and contracts, we have the Sun. So definitely a positive energy to see here. This deck is referred to as the Lord of the Fire of the World. And yeah, seeing this here, to me says at least it looks like that area of life will be strong for you guys. So whether that be a business partnership, romantic relationships, you name it, looks like there's at least a strong force there. And this does make me think of Neptune basically now being in your seventh house for the long haul, essentially. And like we said, Saturn will be joining it, so that might be a whole different deal there. But yeah, it looks like your seventh house, your partnerships, contracts should be going well this month. And at the very least, I would say in the spotlight too, given the Sun energy. All right. And for the eighth house, which generally points to death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments, we have the Foolish Man, so the Fool in traditional tarot. The Spirit of Ether in this deck. But seeing this here, I feel like this is just ultimately saying that maybe you might take a bit of a risk, right? So let's just say, again, let's just use the investment theme since that's one of the themes in the eighth house. Maybe this is just going to say you might, roll the dice a little bit, right? And like I said, maybe there's going to be between your sixth house, your fourth house, maybe others around you might disagree with that approach, right? But you just might feel the strong pull to do something a little bit out of the ordinary. And even if it's not an investments thing, right? Because when we talk about death, rebirth, just transformation energies in general, could just be saying that maybe there is something you want to do that's a little bit off the beaten path in general, at least for your usual routine. And maybe they're going to feel a strong pull toward that this month. All right. In the ninth house, which in general, ninth house points to philosophy, higher learning, and foreign affairs, we have the Nine of Swords, which is Gemini energy. This deck gets referred to as the Lord of Despair and Cruelty. So, I will say most decks, they tend to have somewhat dramatic artwork for the Nine of Swords as well, right? Usually it's someone holding their head, looks like they're in bed, losing sleep, right? A lot of anxiety. Some decks even show Nine Swords actually striking the person, so definitely some heavier energy there as far as that goes. But what I'm getting from this could just be saying that maybe your philosophies might be challenged in some way, right? Doesn't mean that you're going to abandon them, but maybe things that you've held as beliefs for a long time, maybe they get challenged this month, right? And that might be a bit of a heavy thing for you, right? Think about it. Things that, beliefs that people hold on to for a long time, if they get challenged, that can rattle you somewhat. So, again, doesn't signal the end of the world necessarily, but it's definitely something you might feel from time to time this month. All right. In the 10th house, we have the Nine of Cups. So, 10th house in general points to career, social status, and the Nine of Cups is usually widely considered a positive card. As in this deck, it's referred to as the Lord of Material Happiness. So, like we said, right, 6th house looks a little tricky. 2nd house, like we said, it looks like you're in sync there as far as having the Scorpio energy in the 2nd house, which is your natural 2nd house. And then, like we said, maybe there's a bit of a gamble you're feeling like taking, possibly around investments this month. But seeing this year, it looks like whatever that is, it looks like for the most part, it will pay off for you guys. So it looks like whatever intuitive thing you're feeling there might be on the right track. And again, like I said, if this is maybe people in the workplace being a little bit resistant to an approach you want to take, it looks like ultimately, once it is adopted, it will actually yield positive results. All right. In the 11th house, which in general points to friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes, we have the Knight of Swords, which is Gemini energy. And in this deck, it's referred to as the Lord of the Winds and Breezes. So, yeah, seeing this energy here tells me that actually within your friend group, you might actually find some strong conversation, right? Maybe you'll be bouncing ideas off of each other. Like we said, it looks like there's some resistance there. So, seeing this here versus that, could just be seeing that that resistance might be a little bit more isolated to your work environment, possibly, like we said, even for some of you within your family. But looks like when it comes to your friendships, there's going to be sharing of ideas, bouncing ideas around, and possibly through that, some creative progress as well. And in the 12th house, speaking of creative ideas, we have the Ace of Cups. So 12th house in general points to spirituality, blind spots, mental health. And like we said, astrologically speaking, we do have the South Node still moving through your 12th house. And then there will be that full moon eclipse there in March. But yeah, ultimately, this is kind of in line with what I was seeing with some of these energies as well, where it just seems like you're going to get this idea, this intuitive hunch. And then as you start to work through it on the more practical side of things, it looks like it actually has a good chance of playing out in reality as well. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Oh, and in this deck, it's referred to as the Lord of the Root of the Powers of Water. So yeah, it definitely sounds like a very intuitive, dreamy energy, but that's what I get with that. And from the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups. So speaking of creativity, right? Knight of Cups is Pisces, generally speaking, and this deck it's referred to as the Lord of Waves and Waters. So yeah, so again, like I said, I feel like you're just gonna get these creative spurts hitting you in waves, and I feel like they're gonna just have a strong pull on your emotions to where you're gonna be really drawn to you taking them on. And again, like I said, even if it's something that's normally off of the beaten path for you, you're just gonna feel the strong pull toward them for whatever reason. Like I said, it looks like as you start to delve into them a little bit more, it looks like in the long run there is that potential for them to actually improve things in your situation. But we'll pull an oracle card to put a bow on the reading. So yeah, like I said, we're going to pull a card from the Wisdom Oracle deck. Just going to give this a few more shuffles, then we'll cut the deck and pull a card. All right, we'll take this card here. Get this out of the way. All right, let's see what you guys got. Okay, yes, here and now. There's the artwork, and the number's 32. So funny seeing that because it makes me think of staying in the present moment, right? And I was talking about how with this energy, I saw this marriage of, the practical day-to-day work, but also bringing some creativity into it, right? Some imagination into it. So I feel like this is saying, maybe don't go too overboard with the, just up in the clouds kind of approach. But at the same time, if you could marry that with the practical, it'll be a strong thing for you guys this month. But we'll see what it says in the book. All right, essential meanings says being fully present in the moment, living one day at a time. The oracle's message: everything happens in the now, in the present. Only this moment counts. You have what it takes to handle anything today if you let go of the need to look into the future or reflect on the past. Be present and notice what is going on right now. This very moment has the potential for you to create miracles in your life. So yeah, definitely a strong message there. Again, like I said, I do like that even with the positive creative energies here, we do see practical mixed in too, which Librans loving balance, right? Sounds like an ideal situation. The relationship message says it's easy to yearn for a love affair or friendship you may not have right now, one that is more romantic, more fun, more reliable, more passionate. The good old days are gone and a new day has dawned. Let your heart trust that you have everything you need right now, whether you have the relationship you desire or not. Tomorrow is beyond your reach. Yesterday cannot return. The now is all that is available to you. Stay present and aware that in this moment, as you cherish and approve of your beautiful self, you are a magnet for love. Spirit is madly in love with you right now. Did you know that? Turn to Spirit to feel the joy of love in the here and now. So yeah, definitely an interesting message here, especially given that we do have the sun in the 7th house, right? Which is definitely a strong energy. And then, like I said, of course, when we do have Saturn creeping back into your 7th house, that might feel like a bit of a heavier energy, but hopefully that message resonated. The prosperity message says what you are working on is golden, and your efforts will leave a powerful legacy. Focus not on meeting a goal in the far off future, but on creating your dream now, releasing your desire for an outcome, and owning that it already exists. It will appear in the material world as if by magic. Claim your prosperity now. The essence is more important than the form. When you are immersed in prosperous thoughts, you automatically tune into a sense of timelessness and unlimited potential. You can act as if, in spite of the temporary outer conditions, you are prosperous at this moment. What you think now becomes your reality. Stay present. So yeah, once again, a strong message there, right? And like I said, it seems to align with what we were seeing, where there seems to be this marriage between the creative and the practical. So hopefully that message resonated with you guys, and we'll wrap up there. Bye.